Careful, watch your hand.
Get him! Shoot! Shoot!
Oh!
Whoa! Ooh.
Pickle Wheat is no stranger to the swamp, known for his relentless work ethic, bold personality, and uncanny ability to navigate the treacherous waters of the Louisiana Bayou. He's seen it all, or at least he thought he had. But one recent discovery in his truck left even the most seasoned fans of swamp people speechless. It's the kind of moment that makes you stop, rewind, and question everything you thought you knew about life in the swamp. The truck had been sitting there for days, loaded with gear, bait, and the usual tools of Pickle's trade. But when someone decided to take a closer look, the discovery turned from ordinary to jaw-dropping. Inside, hidden among crates and nets, was something no one expected, something that seemed almost impossible, yet undeniably real. Whispers spread quickly among the crew. Cameras captured reactions ranging from disbelief to laughter to pure shock. Even Pickle himself couldn't quite believe what was happening. For fans of the show, this wasn't just another day on the swamp. This was a story that tested the limits of imagination. The discovery called into question how much we really know about the people, the wildlife, and the unpredictable world of the Louisiana Bayou. And it sparked a flurry of speculation. How did it get there? Was it planned, accidental, or something entirely stranger? This moment is a perfect reminder of why Swamp People keeps viewers glued to their screens. Every season promises high-stakes hunts, wild encounters, and moments of sheer unpredictability, but sometimes the most shocking finds aren't in the water, they're right under your nose, inside a truck, waiting to be uncovered. That what Pickle Wheat found has already gone viral among fans online. And trust us, you've never seen anything quite like this before. Pickle Wheat had been working the swamps of Louisiana for decades, earning a reputation as one of the most fearless and resourceful hunters on the bayou. From gator hunts to navigating treacherous waters in the dead of night, he'd faced it all. But nothing in his years on the swamp could have prepared him for the discovery that would soon leave everyone, including himself, stunned. It all started on a humid morning when Pickle was preparing his truck for a day in the swamp. The vehicle, a battered but reliable pickup, had been his lifeline for years, hauling traps, nets, and gear essential for survival in the harsh Louisiana wilderness. Every inch of the truck was meticulously organized, or at least that's how Pickle liked it. He knew where every tool, crate, and rope was stored. But that morning, as he reached into the back of the bed for a set of traps, he noticed something unusual. At first, it seemed like a small crate he didn't recognize. He squinted, curious but cautious. Swamps were full of surprises: lost equipment, stray animals, or even prank items left by fellow hunters. But this crate didn't belong. Pickle's instincts, honed over years of hunting and survival, told him to proceed carefully. He pried it open, and the contents immediately defied belief. Inside was a collection of items so strange and unexpected that for a moment, Pickle wasn't sure whether he was dreaming. Among the crates and nets were objects that no ordinary swamp hunter would ever possess. Some were natural, rare specimens of plants and reptiles, but others were man-made, seemingly out of place, and incredibly valuable. Cameras from past hunts, rare tools, and even items that appeared to be historical artifacts were hidden right in his own truck. It was a treasure trove that raised more questions than answers. Word quickly spread among the crew. As fellow hunters gathered around, disbelief turned into laughter, then shock, and finally awe. Pickle, usually unflappable and practical, found himself caught between pride and confusion. How had these items ended up in his truck? Who had placed them there? And most importantly, why? The discovery wasn't just about the objects themselves, it was about what they represented. Hidden within the familiar, everyday vehicle that had carried him through countless adventures were hints of stories untold, mysteries hidden right under his nose, and the unexpected intersections of history and the swamp. It reminded everyone that the bayou wasn't just a place of gators and hunting, it was a living, breathing landscape full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. By the end of the morning, Pickle's truck had become a hub of curiosity. Cameras rolling, phones snapping, and rumors flying. Social media posts from the crew began to go viral. Fans of Swamp People debated, speculated, and shared every detail they could see in the photographs. Everyone wanted to know, Was it an intentional stash? An accidental find? Or something far stranger? For Pickle, the day had started like any other, with early sunrise and the promise of adventure. By the time the sun reached its peak, he realized he had stumbled upon something that would captivate the audience for months to come. It wasn't just a find in the swamp, it was a reminder that in the world of swamp people, anything can happen, and the most unbelievable discoveries often come when you least expect them. As he locked up the truck and prepared to head deeper into the swamp, Pickle couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. The objects in his truck held stories, and he was about to uncover them all. After the astonishing discovery in Pickle Wheat's truck, curiosity spread like wildfire not just among his crew, but across the fanbase of swamp people. Social media buzzed with speculation, online forums debated endlessly, and viewers of the show demanded answers. Everyone wanted to know how such a strange and unexpected collection of items ended up in the truck of one of the bayou's most experienced hunters. For Pickle, the excitement was tempered with caution. He knew better than anyone that in the swamp, not everything is as it seems. Some finds are dangerous, others are valuable, and some hold mysteries that can take weeks or months to unravel. With this in mind, Pickle began a careful examination of each item. Every crate, box, and bundle was cataloged. He photographed each piece, noting unusual markings, origins, and potential significance. The process was methodical, almost scientific, but the sheer variety of the finds made it thrilling and sometimes confusing. Among the first items he investigated were a series of unusual tools. Some were clearly used for hunting and trapping, but a few appeared far more specialized, possibly intended for research or historical preservation. Pickle realized that whoever had placed these items in his truck had extraordinary knowledge of both the swamp and unique artifacts. The question of intent loomed large. Were they gifts, hidden treasures, or remnants of a mystery long forgotten? Next came the rare specimens, plants and small animals carefully preserved. These finds suggested someone had been collecting swamp biodiversity, perhaps for scientific purposes or personal fascination. Pickle consulted experts, sending photos to local biologists and historians. Responses ranged from astonishment to admiration. "These are incredibly rare," one expert wrote. "You've stumbled onto a collection most universities would pay handsomely for." Meanwhile, word of the discovery reached the production team of Swamp People, who quickly turned it into a storyline for the show. Cameras captured Pickle's reaction as he went through each item, showing viewers his step-by-step investigation. The audience was captivated, not only by the unusual finds, but by Pickle's personality, his humor, his skepticism, and his genuine amazement at the surprises the swamp had yielded. Fan theories multiplied. Some speculated that the items were smuggled treasures from decades past. Others believed they were evidence of a local legend, stories of hidden caches left by long-gone hunters or swamp dwellers. A few even suggested the finds were supernatural, adding an eerie twist to the tale. Each theory fueled conversation online, driving more viewers to tune in and watch Pickle unravel the mystery firsthand. The investigation revealed one unifying truth: the truck had become a portal to stories untold. Every object had a history, every artifact a tale, and Pickle Wheat stood at the center of it all, bridging the past with the present. It wasn't just about discovery, it was about understanding the swamp, the people who lived there, and the hidden treasures the bayou concealed from ordinary eyes. By the end of the week, Pickle had begun tracing the origins of several key items. Some were gifts from retired hunters, some were salvaged from forgotten swamp camps, and others seemed almost deliberately placed for him to find. Each revelation drew him deeper into the mystery, confirming what he already suspected: the swamp had more stories than anyone could imagine. And sometimes, the most unbelievable finds are waiting for the right person to uncover them. The discovery in Pickle Wheat's truck had turned from a simple shock into a full-blown investigation, one that captured hearts, inspired theories, and reminded everyone that the swamp is a world of surprises, secrets, and wonders that often go unnoticed until the right person comes along. As Pickle Wheat continued to examine the contents of his truck, one discovery immediately eclipsed all the others. Hidden in a weathered wooden crate, tucked beneath nets and rope, was an object that no one had expected, and it left Pickle momentarily speechless. He had seen countless oddities and rare items over the years, but this one was different. Its size, its intricate details, and the craftsmanship hinted at a story far older and far stranger than anything he had encountered in the swamp. The object was carefully wrapped in cloth, and as Pickle unrolled it, a hush fell over the small crowd of crew members gathered nearby. Their eyes widened as they realized what lay before them. It wasn't a trap, a tool, or a specimen. It was a collection of artifacts from the swamp's past, items that seemed almost untouched by time. Among them were antique hunting tools, old coins, carved wooden figures, and other relics that hinted at the lives of hunters, trappers, and settlers from generations ago. Pickle held one of the pieces in his hands, marveling at the intricate detail and age. Each item seemed to carry its own history, its own tale of adventure, survival, and ingenuity. He realized that someone had painstakingly preserved these treasures, keeping them hidden for decades, waiting for the right moment or the right person to uncover them. The thought that they had ended up in his truck felt surreal, almost like destiny. Word of the find spread rapidly. Cameras captured Pickle's reaction, and the footage quickly went viral among Swamp People fans. Online forums exploded with speculation. Some viewers claimed they recognized similar artifacts from regional histories, while others proposed wild theories. Perhaps the items were left by an old-time treasure hunter, or maybe they were evidence of a forgotten community of swamp dwellers who had lived in isolation for decades. Fans debated every detail, from the carvings on wooden figures to the wear on antique coins. Even Pickle's own social media accounts were flooded with messages. Fans expressed awe, curiosity, and admiration, urging him to continue the investigation and share more details. The truck, once a simple tool for hauling gear, had transformed into a vault of history, a bridge connecting modern swamp life with the mysteries of the past. Amid the excitement, Pickle remained methodical. He documented each artifact, photographed it, and carefully noted its condition and possible origin. Experts in local history, archaeology, and wildlife were consulted, confirming the rarity and authenticity of several items. Each new piece of information seemed to add another layer to the story, revealing a deeper connection between the artifacts and the lives of people who had once thrived in the swamp. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the discovery was the human reaction it inspired. Fans and viewers were not only intrigued by the objects themselves, they were captivated by the way Pickle reacted, his genuine amazement, careful attention, and infectious enthusiasm. It reminded everyone why Swamp People had such a devoted following, beyond the hunting and survival. The show captured real moments of curiosity, wonder, and connection with history. By the end of the week, the investigation into the truck's contents had taken on a life of its own. Each artifact told a story, each find sparked new questions, and Pickle Wheat became both a modern-day explorer and guardian of the swamp's hidden treasures. Fans eagerly awaited updates, theories flourished online, and the legend of Pickle's incredible find grew by the day. What they found in his truck wasn't just a collection of old items. It was a testament to the swamp's hidden history, a reminder that even in the most familiar places, surprises wait for those willing to look closely. And for Pickle Wheat, the adventure was far from over. After the initial shock of the discovery in Pickle Wheat's truck, the next step was tracing the origins of the artifacts. Each item carried clues not just about the swamp itself, but about the people who had lived, worked, and survived in it long before Pickle's time. It quickly became clear that these objects weren't random. They were carefully preserved remnants of Louisiana's swamp history, a hidden archive waiting to be rediscovered. Pickle began collaborating with historians, archaeologists, and local experts. Together, they pieced together the puzzle. The carved wooden figures, some worn smooth from decades of handling, were traced back to early 19th century hunters and settlers. Coins and tools dated to a time when the swamp was even wilder and survival depended on skill, ingenuity, and an intimate understanding of the land. Some artifacts were ceremonial or personal items, suggesting that generations of swamp dwellers had left subtle marks on history that were almost entirely forgotten. Fans of Swamp People followed the investigation closely, Social media exploded with speculation and admiration, with viewers amazed at both the depth of the find and Pickle's methodical approach. Unlike ordinary treasure hunters, Pickle treated each artifact with respect, understanding that the true value wasn't just monetary, it was historical, cultural, and human. He documented every detail, photographed each item, and shared the stories behind them, helping fans connect with a swamp that had always seemed wild and mysterious. The process of tracing the origins also revealed a personal dimension. Some items appeared to have been passed down through families who had lived in the bayou for generations, eventually finding their way into the truck, either intentionally or by accident. Interviews with local residents confirmed that Pickle had stumbled upon a forgotten legacy, a tangible connection to the past. It was a reminder that the swamp is more than water, reeds, and wildlife. It is a living record of people, culture, and history. The most exciting revelation came when experts confirmed that a few of the artifacts were exceedingly rare. Some tools were considered lost to history, and the wooden carvings represented a style of craftsmanship that had almost vanished. Suddenly, Pickle's discovery was no longer just a fascinating story for fans, it became a significant historical find. Museums and collectors expressed interest, but Pickle remained steadfast. The items would remain in the community and, when possible, be shared to educate and inspire others about swamp life. Fans reacted with overwhelming admiration. Comments poured in online. "This is incredible. Pickle Wheat is a legend. I never thought I'd see real history pulled from the swamp." The discovery rekindled appreciation for the swamp itself, a place that often seems ordinary but holds stories waiting to be uncovered by those patient and observant enough to notice. By the end of the investigation, the story had come full circle. Pickle Wheat's truck, once a simple vehicle for hauling hunting gear, had become a time capsule, bridging modern viewers with the legacy of swamp dwellers from generations past. It wasn't just a shocking find, it was a lesson in history, persistence, and respect for the environment and its hidden treasures. For Pickle, the experience reaffirmed why he loved the swamp. Every day brings new challenges, new surprises, and sometimes extraordinary discoveries that remind us of the layers of life that exist beyond what we see. What they found in his truck was hard to believe, but it was real, meaningful, and unforgettable. And as Pickle prepared for his next adventure, he knew one thing for certain: the swamp still held countless secrets, waiting for the right eyes to uncover them.